Some secrets were meant to stay buried, but not here. This is Red Tape File. Imagine battling final stage of brain cancer, 4 months to live. The tumors are spreading. Chemotherapy has failed. The doctors have given up. Now imagine curing yourself not with medicine, but with vegetables, sunshine, and positive thinking. You document your miracle recovery on Instagram. Millions follow your journey. You become a wellness icon. Apple features your app. You're on magazine covers. You've made over $1 million selling hope to desperate cancer patients. There's just one problem. You never had cancer. This is the story of Belle Gibson, the woman who faked terminal brain cancer and claimed to have cured herself with organic foods and alternative therapies. She built an empire on the lies and shattered the lives of thousands who believed in her. And the most chilling part? She almost got away with it. On Red Tape Files today, we're diving into one of the most disturbing medical frauds of the 21st century. A young woman with long blonde hair and soulful eyes appears on social media with a story that seems impossible. Her name is Belle Gibson, using the Instagram handle healing_Belle, began sharing her extraordinary journey. She told followers she'd been diagnosed with malignant brain cancer, glioblastoma, one of the deadliest forms. The doctors gave her 4 months to live. Multiple tumors throughout her brain, her blood, her spleen, her uterus, her liver. She claimed she embarked on what she called a quest to heal myself naturally, through nutrition, patience, determination, and love. This was 2013, Melbourne, Australia. But Belle refused conventional treatment. No chemotherapy, no radiation. Instead, she turned to something radical: nutrition, Ayurvedic medicine, oxygen therapy, and alternative treatments. She ate organic. She juiced. She meditated. She cut out processed foods and embraced whole foods. And then the impossible happened. She started getting better. Belle documented everything on Instagram and Facebook, photos of green smoothies, quotes about positivity and healing, pictures with her young son. Each post radiated hope and authenticity. "If I can heal myself," she told her growing audience, "you can too." Her following exploded. Within months, she had hundreds of thousands of followers hanging on her every word. Cancer patients, worried parents, people desperate for an alternative to the brutal reality of conventional treatment. Belle became their beacon of hope. In 2013, she launched The Whole Pantry, an app filled with recipes, wellness advice, and her personal story. The app was stunning. Beautiful photography, simple, clean design, delicious-looking meals that promised not just health, but healing. Apple took notice. They featured The Whole Pantry as one of their top apps. It was preloaded on the Apple Watch. Belle signed a book deal with Penguin. Major magazines profiled her as a wellness warrior who had defeated the undefeatable. By 2014, Belle Gibson was a millionaire, a celebrity, an inspiration. She was also a complete fraud. The cracks started appearing in late 2014, and they came from an unexpected place: charity. Belle had been running donation campaigns through her app and social media. She claimed she was donating money to various charities: cancer research, families in need, children's hospitals. Hundreds of thousands of dollars had been raised by her loyal followers, people who believed they were helping others while following Belle's inspiring journey. But the charities never received the money. One blogger started asking questions, then another. Where exactly was the money going? Belle's answers were vague, defensive, contradictory. She blamed her business manager. She blamed the banks. She said the money was delayed and would be donated soon. Journalists began investigating, and that's when the whole house of cards started collapsing. In March 2015, Australian journalist Bo Donaldson published a bombshell investigation. He'd contacted doctors, fact-checked timelines, interviewed former friends. His conclusion was devastating. There was no evidence Belle Gibson had ever had cancer. None. No medical records. No doctor would confirm her diagnosis. Her own family and friends revealed they'd never seen her sick. Confronted by journalists from the Australian newspaper, Belle initially doubled down. She claimed she'd been misdiagnosed. She'd believed she had cancer based on what she'd been told. But as the pressure mounted, her story changed again and again. Finally, in an interview that would become infamous, Belle Gibson admitted the truth. None of it's true. She'd never had cancer, not brain cancer, not blood cancer, not cancer in her spleen, liver, or anywhere else. She'd made it all up. Every Instagram post, every recipe claiming to heal, every tearful video about her struggle, all fabricated. But even in her confession, Belle couldn't stop lying. She claimed she'd been manipulated by her alternative health practitioners into believing she was sick. She suggested she'd been confused, misled, a victim herself. She showed no real remorse for the cancer patients she'd deceived, for the people who'd followed her advice instead of their doctor's recommendations, for the charities she'd stolen from. The public reaction was volcanic. The fallout was swift and brutal. Apple pulled the whole pantry from their store. Penguin canceled her book deal and recalled the books that had already been distributed. Instagram and Facebook accounts that had once overflowed with supportive comments now filled with rage, betrayal, and heartbreak. But the human cost was far more severe than any corporate decision. Real cancer patients had followed Belle's advice. They'd rejected chemotherapy. They'd tried to juice their way to health. Some had died. Families were destroyed. People who'd donated their hard-earned money to Belle's fake charities felt violated. The wellness community was left reeling, its credibility shattered. In 2017, Belle Gibson faced court. Consumer Affairs Victoria took her to trial for misleading and deceptive conduct. The evidence was overwhelming. Belle had made over $1 million from her app, her book, and her brand, all built on lies. She was found guilty. The court fined her $410,000. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. Belle Gibson never paid. For years, she simply refused. Investigators found she was still living a comfortable lifestyle in Melbourne, still posting on social media under different names, still seemingly unbothered by the devastation she'd caused. In 2021, 7 years after being exposed, authorities finally caught up with her. She'd been working, earning money, living normally, just refusing to pay what she owed. Additional penalties were added. The total debt ballooned to over $500,000. As of today, Belle Gibson has paid only a fraction of what she owes. She's never apologized meaningfully to her victims. She's never shown genuine remorse. In rare interviews and social media posts, she's positioned herself as a victim of mental illness, of manipulation, of society's expectations. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of the Belle Gibson story isn't just what she did, it's what it reveals about us. How did Belle Gibson fool so many people for so long? The answer is uncomfortable, because we wanted to believe her. We live in an age of medical anxiety. Cancer is terrifying. Treatment is brutal. The pharmaceutical industry is mistrusted. We're bombarded with conflicting health information. Into this uncertainty stepped Belle Gibson with a simple, beautiful lie. You don't need doctors. You need kale. She understood something profound about human psychology. Hope is the most powerful drug of all. For cancer patients facing the brutality of chemotherapy, for parents terrified of losing their children, for anyone feeling powerless against disease, Belle offered control. She offered an alternative narrative where you could heal yourself, where cancer wasn't a death sentence but a lifestyle problem with a lifestyle solution. She weaponized vulnerability. She built trust through authenticity, or rather, the performance of authenticity. Every carefully filtered photo, every emotional caption, every recipe claiming to heal was designed to create an illusion of intimacy. Her followers didn't just admire her, they felt they knew her. The Belle Gibson scandal exposed the dark underbelly of wellness culture and the dangers of medical misinformation in the age of social media. It showed how easily charisma can masquerade as credibility, how desperately we want simple solutions to complex problems. And here's the terrifying part. Belle Gibson wasn't unique. She was just the one who got caught. Even now, countless influencers peddle unproven cancer cures, miracle supplements, and medical advice with zero qualifications. The wellness industrial complex is worth billions, built partly on the same foundation Belle used, exploiting fear and selling hope. The Belle Gibson story is a tragedy, not just hers, but ours. It's a story about desperation and deception, about the lies we tell and the lies we want to believe. Real cancer research saves lives. Real doctors save lives. Real medicine, as imperfect as it is, saves lives. Belle Gibson offered none of that. She offered only a dangerous fantasy that cost people their money, their health, and in some cases, their lives. So what can we learn? Question everything. Verify sources. Be skeptical of miracle cures and perfect recoveries. Remember that authenticity on social media is often performance, and that vulnerability can be weaponized. Most importantly, hope is precious, but hope without truth is poison. If this story shocked you, if it made you think, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now. Help us spread awareness about medical misinformation.